Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We'll be getting started momentarily, and I'll have Daniel kick us off when he's ready.
Thanks, Anne. Good morning, everybody. Let's go to the next slide, please, Anne. And I want to welcome everybody this morning. My name is Dan Kaltiainen. I'm the president of Lloyd Business IT Solutions. We've been using ClickDimensions marketing automation for several years now, and we are very excited to present this webinar to you. Joining us from ClickDimensions is Anne Zemlicka-Hayes, a MarTech solution specialist, and thank you very much, Anne, for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Just a quick couple housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded and will be sent out to the participants in case they want to go back and replay it later. We welcome any and all questions you have in the panel, and we'll do our best to get to them later on in the presentation. All attendees will receive a coffee gift card, so be on the lookout for that gift coming through, as well as there's a 2021 idea ebook on how to transform your marketing in an all digital world. It's a brilliant resource, especially for businesses that are looking to ramp up their game in the digital marketing space. For our agenda today, Anne is going to take us through a discussion about how everything is now digital. She'll share some best practices on how to succeed in an all digital world, and then give us a peek at how some of these ideas work inside a marketing automation tool like ClickDimensions before we go on to some final thoughts and Q&A. And just before we jump into that agenda, I'd like to take a moment just to say a word or two about Lloyd Business IT Solutions. We've been helping companies in Northern Ontario for over 30 years, turning Microsoft technology into business solutions to help run and manage a growing organization. Again, Microsoft is one of the most recognized, trusted names in the technology world, and it's a brilliant offering for companies that are looking to grow their businesses to the next level. Just a quick note on Microsoft Dynamics, because ClickDimensions works on Microsoft Dynamics CRM, or also known as Dynamics 365 for sales. Dynamics is an end-to-end business application platform providing a series of purpose-built applications, all developed on top of the common data service now known as the Dataverse, which can be extended with Power Automate and Power Apps. These apps are fully integrated with your Office 365, saving your employees time from having to switch between apps. Many of these solutions are infused with AI Cortana intelligence, including built-in Power BI dashboards out of the box, and support for Azure IoT connectivity to our connected universe. Supported by thousands of third-party add-ons developed by a healthy ecosystem of third-party ISV partners, one of which we're going to show you today, which is ClickDimensions. ClickDimensions is one of the top add-ons in the Microsoft CRM world year after year. Recently recognized by the Financial Times for the second year in a row as one of the fastest growing companies in America and a leader in digital marketing. We like to tell our customers, if you want to see the state of the art and learn a lot about best practices in digital marketing, just follow ClickDimensions, right? It's a brilliant tool that shows what's capable on a solid platform. One last quick note about us in Northern Ontario. Lloyd Business IT, we're located in Sudbury, Northern Ontario. We understand the realities of doing business in the North. That's why Microsoft approached us to become a partner several years back. We help companies translate Microsoft solutions into business success using one of the most trusted and secure technology platforms in the market today. Our customers feel safe that their business applications are hosted by an infrastructure company that's running the only global scale data center on the planet. So it's one of the most important things we tell our customers is you can rest assured your business data and your investment are in a safe place with Microsoft. Without any further ado, I'm going to ask Annie to take over from here and walk us through a quick discussion on digital everything. Thanks, Annie, and please enjoy the webinar.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. As mentioned, I'm Annie Zemlicka-Hayes with ClickDimensions, and we're going to start talking about digital everything to get started here. 2020 was the year that changed everything, from lockdowns to remote work, social distancing to Zoom fatigue. 2020 was a year like no other. And while we're in a new year, we can expect more of the same, at least in the near term. Digital everything isn't going to go away. The way people buy has changed. The digital transformation that was beginning in some organizations wasn't just accelerated by the pandemic, it was practically mandated because buyer behavior has changed, the way we sell has changed, which in turn changes the way we market. When thinking of sales and marketing, alignment of the two groups is no longer enough. Companies need to focus on integrating and unifying sales and marketing to ensure the organizations are in lockstep with one another and meeting the changing demands and behaviors of buyers. This past fall, Gartner released 2 reports, both with interesting insights on shifting buying and selling behavior. The first report, their Consumer Values and Lifestyle Survey from October, found that 43% of consumers plan to continue the current way of doing things online post-pandemic. Even more telling, from their report, The Future of Sales 2025, by Sales Needs a Digital First Approach, Gartner predicts that in less than 5 years, 80% of B2B sales interactions will occur in digital channels. With that validation, it is imperative that marketers adjust to an all-digital world. ClickDimensions also recently surveyed our customers, asking about their marketing practices and priorities. The results shown here are from that benchmarking survey and show what our customers have identified as their top marketing priorities over the next 18 months. While it's definitely a diverse response set, it clearly shows a shift to digital. So how do we succeed in an all-digital world? Today, we're going to explore that by focusing on 3 key elements of digital marketing: creating a digital strategy, using data, and thinking beyond just sending an email. Looking at our first element of success, let's discuss the importance of a digital strategy. It may seem obvious to have a defined strategy. The seemingly overnight shift to a reliance on digital marketing created a reactive rather than proactive approach. To change that, you need a strategy. There are several important considerations when defining your strategy. First, define clear goals. What do you want to accomplish? And then ensure those goals have measurable metrics associated to them. Perhaps you have a goal to drive more leads and revenue. The associated metrics could be quantifying the percentage of increase in both leads and revenue that you hope to achieve. Second, know what's worked for you before. Look back at past marketing efforts. What was successful? What wasn't? Look at success through performance metrics and not just anecdotal feedback, and then incorporate what's worked into your go-forward plan. Finally, be realistic about your means. Understand what your budget is and what you can do with that budget. Also recognize that means covers more than just budget. Do you have the right resources? Do those resources have the right skill sets? Do you have the tools to execute on your strategy? Bring all of these considerations into your final strategy. Our next element of digital success focuses on data. Going back to the ClickDimensions benchmarking survey I referenced before, 84% of our customers said that marketing analytics were important to their marketing strategy. Furthermore, a recent Forrester report found that 74% of businesses say they want to be data-driven, but less than 30% feel they are good at connecting analytics to action. A digital approach relies on data. Data is one of the most powerful tools a marketer has. You can utilize data to be more personalized in your marketing efforts, pull data elements that you've captured about your audience into your campaigns to begin creating the personalized experience buyers are used to in their consumer lives, and are starting to expect to see on the B2B side as well. The most obvious use of data is analytics. Study trends and make decisions based on what your data tells you. And remember, actionable data should be clean data, so ensure that data cleanliness is also a priority. Moving to our last key element for digital marketing success, recognize that digital is more than just email. In our benchmarking survey, almost half of the respondents indicated that more than half of their marketing campaigns include channels outside of email. That's a promising start, but an all digital world requires more than half. So let's dig in deeper on ways to go beyond email. A multi-channel campaign means you are more likely to be where your prospects are and increases the likelihood of your audience paying attention to you and not relegating your campaigns to the rest of the digital noise they are bombarded with. Getting specific, we are going to talk about how MarTech tools, specifically marketing automation technology platforms, support multi-channel marketing. For the next few minutes, we'll discuss features that are common components of marketing automation platforms, including ClickDimensions, that enable a multi-channel approach. We'll cover automated campaigns, forms and surveys, event management, and social marketing. You might hear them referenced as nurture campaigns, drip marketing, or speaking about ClickDimensions specifically, campaign automation. Regardless of what you call them, automated campaigns allow you to communicate with your audience based on their past interactions and activities. This means you can trigger elements of campaigns based on how they interacted with prior components of that same campaign. You can create a personalized one-to-one experience on a mass scale. I know that we're talking about going beyond email, and it's true that email is the foundation of automated campaigns. But most platforms enable you to incorporate other channels into a campaign, including phone calls, SMS messages, social media, and so on. Landing pages extend a company's website and allow for a clear, single call to action that increases conversion since there aren't the navigational distractions of your main website. Oftentimes, landing pages include forms or surveys. Forms allow for the gating of content, signing up for communications and other such things, while providing a means of data capture. Surveys allow you to dig deeper with your audience and capture data points you wouldn't normally find on a form. Remembering that the second element of digital marketing revolves around data, forms and surveys are two top ways marketers can capture that data. "2020 impacted events more than any other marketing and sales activity. Trade shows were canceled or converted to digital events. Webinars saw a surge in popularity as a way of mimicking smaller events. As these in-person events have morphed into digital events, it's important to recognize that online events still enable organizations to connect with their target audience and provide a meaningful but different way of networking and making sales connections." Finally, let's look at the role social media has played since the onset of the pandemic. Social was in some cases considered a marketing task without a strategic tie-in to other marketing programs or activities, but that has certainly changed. According to eMarketer, 1/3 of the world uses social media regularly, and social media instantly became a critical communication channel for marketers to get their messages out when lockdown started and offices closed. Social allows businesses to connect with prospects, customers, and partners, giving them the opportunity to not just push their message out, but to listen to what their audience is talking about and use what they hear on social to make their campaigns more relevant. Now let's bring this all together into what a digital campaign might look like. Let's say someone sees an ad you placed on Google or Microsoft or another online property. They click that ad and submit a form from one of your landing pages. That action adds them to your database as a lead or contact, at which point you can put them into an automated nurture campaign that includes emails, but also triggers based on if they interact with a social media post or visit a web page on your website, for example. Their activity in the automated campaign could indicate it's time for them to engage with a sales rep and begin progressing through the pipeline. Or it could lead to them being put into a different automated campaign. This one focused on a webinar, including invites and follow-up communications that might even include a survey asking for feedback on that webinar. Maybe then after that effort, they engage with your sales and progress to a new sale. Finally, at the conclusion of your campaign, analyze the data and metrics to access your success. Now we will take some time to take a look at the ClickDimensions product, go through some of these different ways to communicate that we talked through in marketing in an all digital world. Many marketing automation solutions have similar feature sets. ClickDimensions is built specifically for Dynamics 365, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment here. But multi-channel marketing automation is what leverages that technology to keep you in front of your leads and customers. So it helps with inbound marketing, lead management, multi-channel orchestration, which we're talking a bit about today, and campaign management. So with that, I will flip over to this screen and we'll take a closer look at ClickDimensions within Dynamics 365. If you do have questions, please feel free to put those in the chat or the questions pane, and we'll get to those towards the end of the presentation. So I am in Dynamics 365 here, and I've gone into our web and events section in this case. Actually, let's start with an email template. Because email is a part of automated campaigns, I feel it's always important to show what you can do with your emails. As everything has gone digital, it's important to understand that personalization and knowing where your prospects are is really important, because everything that's getting thrown at us is personalized. It's showing us what we've looked at before. It's taking things that we've seen and putting that in front of us again. I like to joke that it's how Amazon gets all of my money. But this will allow you to personalize based on what you know about those leads and contacts within Dynamics. This is another reason why having clean data is very important. In this case, I've pulled through the first name, and that's done very easily within a tool like ClickDimensions by recognizing all of the fields that you store about your leads and contacts and allowing you to access those and easily add personalization. Now we can add our social links, we can add social sharing links. There's a number of things that you can do within this. If you'd like to dive deeper into email templates, there's a lot of great things we can do about conditional sections, allowing the marketing team to lock sections so no one can remove them. There's some really great features built into this email editor. But I wanted to show you that personalization piece. And we've also personalized the information here about the person that they're going to be working with. Right, and so the salesperson they're working with, we even have an image that we're going to surface based on that. So if I go into the email editor and preview this, I can see it easily on both desktop and mobile. It's automatically mobile optimized. And I'm going to preview it as a specific recipient to make sure that those images are coming through the way I want them to. So we'll add Kevin Miller here. And if Kevin was to receive this email, this is what it would look like. You'll see that it's replaced that free marker text, as we call it, with his name. We've also added the name of, in this case, he's also the salesperson. We built the template together. But you can come in and see the salesperson, and then, of course, their headshot, which we all know is Michael Scott. But this really allows you to personalize those emails, make sure that people are receiving those from you, and it looks like you're taking the time to really get to know them. As we walked through some of the other ways to market, we talked a bit about campaign automation. So I did want to take some time to show you that today as well. This is ClickDimensions campaign automation. I've started this very quickly with a marketing list. We actually use the marketing lists that come with Dynamics, marketing list functionality that comes with Dynamics 365 to do our campaigns, create just general email sends. So I'm going to go ahead and add a marketing list here. We'll add my vision list. I'm going to send an email. We can start it out with email, but let's start checking for interaction so we know where to go next. And in this case, I want to know that a specific link was clicked. So I can go in and say, hey, if this email was clicked and my call to action was for them to go to YouTube or Instagram in this case, just grabbing some links from in here, then if they did that, I'm going to set a task for someone on my team to give them a call and check in with them. And from there, I'm going to add them to a list for our webinar that we're going to have later next month. If they don't interact, I'm going to wait a little bit, send an email. Actually, I'm going to wait and see if they came to social from another way. So I'm going to check to see if they had a social click. Did they click on one of our social posts? And we can search for that post here, whatever it might be, and add a post in that's already been posted. If they do click on the post, I'm again going to have someone call them and sign them up for our next webinar. And if they don't, I might just decide at that point that if they're not interacting, we're just going to remove them from this list and add them to a marketing list of people that will follow up with a cold leads campaign later on. So we've built in social to this. We've built in some tasks to make phone calls. There's definitely a way to do this in a multi-channel approach. With campaign automation, we can do a number of different things based on if a field's been updated in Dynamics, which is a very powerful tool. If someone clicks on social, as we've done here, or if someone visits a web page, maybe you have a request a quote page or a contact our sales team page. You may want to add that in here and say on these specific pages, if someone visits that, let's notify the owner of the account that they visited the request a quote page, or maybe a new offering page, whatever it might be. But it allows us to use this to trigger those notifications so that our team is always notified if someone's hitting something of import on the website. So that is a very quick campaign automation. There's multiple things that you can do with this. In addition, you can also do entire event processes in here. So if we wanted to start with a blank template, if you're running anything for webinars like GoToWebinar, WebEx, Cvent, Eventbrite, Zoom, or Teams, those are the ones that we connect with currently, then you can run an entire process to invite them and check to see if they've registered, and at the end, check to see if they attended throughout that entire process. So after we sent the email, if they registered, maybe we'll just say 2 days before the event, send a reminder. Then after the event, we will check to see if they attended. If they attended, let's send an email with a survey. We'll check to see if they completed the survey. And it's just a matter of connecting these where you'd like them to happen. And so adding another channel to the discussion here, doing those in-person events is another great way, not in-person, excuse me, online events is another great way to do multi-channel automation. So that's campaign automation. There are, as I said, multiple ways to use this. I see this used for like new customer onboarding quite often as well. It's probably one of my favorite pieces of the ClickDimensions solution. And we can easily use those personalized emails within it as well. Now, we also talked about using online surveys. And we did an example in there with the events about doing like a post-event survey, things like that. So ClickDimensions, and if you've seen ClickDimensions before, this may look new to you because we have replaced our survey editor with a new one. This allows us to get more ingrained into different types of logic, which pages we're going to show, which questions we're going to show based on how they're doing things like these ratings. Having multi-page surveys with logic built into them, a number of different question types that we can just drag and drop in. This also allows you to do Net Promoter Score surveys very easily. So it's a drag and drop experience. We'll show whether it's visible or not, whether the questions are required. If you want to build some logic to those, you can do that here as well. They are very customizable. And then as we go in, we can test that survey. We can go through, test the entire process. You want to add a date here. Apparently I purchased a motorcycle this month. Not likely for me. And we can go through and add whatever it might be, your email address, all of this, and we can complete this form. Now this one is required, so it's going to tell us right away to come back to it and complete that form. So here's the survey result, and we created a quick thank you page as well. Surveys are a great way to gather feedback about how things are going with existing customers, with how a webinar has gone, with any questions that come up, and Net Promoter Score is another great way to use it as well. This is where you can start adding some of that logic. So these are drag and drop, very easy to use survey creator, and it's a great way to garner feedback and make adjustments as needed. And we also have the ability to create landing pages, and this is another new feature of ClickDimensions. We've had landing pages previously, but we wanted to make them more mobile friendly and a drag and drop experience, so very easy to use. So again, keeping with our motorcycle theme here, you can come in and add the information. I'm going to be in the classic modern, looks good to me. We'll have the CAPTCHA, and I can go ahead and click that register button. It allows me to get the information right back into Dynamics, which I'll show you in just a moment. You can link to your social here by adding your social. You can add text and dividers. If this isn't flexible enough for you, you can also add HTML to this, so it is very easy to use. If I wanted to take a look at what it actually looks like as a web page, I can click on that here and go in and start filling this out. So we'll fill this out again and register this one. We got our thank you note here. It looks like we need to make some changes to the image here to have that perform a bit better. So that's just a matter of changing the image size. And then we can come back into our Dynamics 365 environment. And again, everything's right here, from our emails and campaign automation to our forms, surveys, and landing pages. I can go in and see all of these posted forms. You'll see there it is. The form I just submitted there twice. We can come in and see all of the information I provided on that form, that it was a part of this landing page, and a specific campaign as well. It's important to note that as you're using ClickDimensions, you can do campaign tracking. So I can come in and see if anyone's completed any forms, if there's any emails that have been sent, visits to the landing pages or websites associated with this campaign, page views, forms over time, online feedback. All of this will come back into that campaign to allow for easier reporting. And we talked about how important data is, understanding which campaigns are performing better. Using the campaign tracking with Dynamics 365 and ClickDimensions will make that much easier for your organization. Social is another great way to get the information out in a way that is other than email, right? Doing that multi-channel approach. So we can go in and look at these social posts. I'm going to just grab one here and create one while we're talking. I have one of my test posts here. And with this, I can easily create a post. I can track this post back to a campaign, and I really should. So I'm going to associate a campaign to it and save that. From there, I'm just going to grab something very quickly from the ClickDimensions blog. So understanding marketing maturity. This is a webinar that we did or will do. And then I'll go right back to that social post. And, well, I'd have to go to the post. There we go. And create it. From here, I'm going to go ahead and add that. I want this to post on our Traximo Facebook page, so I'm going to switch that. And I'm going to take this one off and hit done. It has pre-populated the post for me. So this will automatically shorten the links, and then you can post to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, or if it's a video, you can also post it to YouTube. With this posting that's available within ClickDimensions, I can choose to when to post it. I can set up multiple posts. I can even target audiences on Facebook and LinkedIn. What companies am I looking for? What industry? What geography? And it will allow me to really take that post to the next level with targeting who I want to reach out to. And then once we have those posted, we track all of the clicks back to Dynamics. So you can see who's interacting with those, if it's happening on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it might be, any campaigns it's associated to, and which link was clicked. If we know who the leader contact is, then we'll track that back as well. Part of that comes from the ClickDimensions web tracking functionality. So if we go here, you can actually add a tracking script to your website, much like you might do with Google Analytics. Ours is a little bit different, but it will track visits to the website, whether they came in from email, direct traffic, search engine, or social. It'll allow you to follow up with them, see how long they were there. We see Kevin had another visit here. And then these are all of the pages that Kevin went to. If you're running your marketing through multiple channels, you may also want to understand at a contact level what someone's interacting with. So I can see all of the marketing lists that Kevin's a part of, any of the email events associated to Kevin, text messages, forums, page views, the list goes on. Essentially anything that Kevin has interacted with, I have directly at the contact record as well. And this is where a tool that's built into your CRM keeps your sales and marketing team working together. With that, I'm going to go back to our slides here. And we can move into Q&A. So if there's any questions, we can work through those. And then we'll have some final thoughts.
Thank you, Anne. That was very good. We have a few questions. The first one is ClickDimensions GDPR compliant?
So ClickDimensions can be both CASL and GDPR compliant. We have our solution built in a way that you can do the subscription management based on where you're at and what your needs are. Ultimately, it is up to each individual organization to ensure that they are compliant, but our tools can be used for compliance with both CASL and GDPR.
Thank you for that. We have another question. What options are available for support and training?
So ClickDimensions, anyone who starts with ClickDimensions has access to our ClickDimensions Academy, and that'll take you through step-by-step on how to use all the main features of ClickDimensions, walk you through how to create and send an email, how to do the marketing lists, and so on. So the Academy is available to any ClickDimensions customer. We do have some services around ClickDimensions as well. So we do have the ability to come in and help you get started if you'd like. Not necessarily with the dynamics portion, but more with the marketing portion specifically. And then support has multiple options. We do have chat and phone support available. We also have basic support available with just an online ticketing system that comes at no cost with the ClickDimensions solution.
Okay, great. And we do have one final question. Why ClickDimensions versus other marketing automation solutions for Dynamics CRM?
So ClickDimensions has been working with Dynamics CRM and Dynamics 365 for, I think we're at 11 years now. We know how people market with Dynamics. We build our solution around that. Also, ClickDimensions has the ability to market to both leads and contacts. Some solutions do not as of yet. So that's always something to keep in mind if you're using leads within your Dynamics 365 or you intend to. And it's a proven solution for Dynamics 365 that has a full support team specifically for marketing automation. Other questions?
That was our final question from the panel. So I don't know if there's any.
Okay. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, thank you so much for your time today. It's been wonderful chatting with you all about marketing automation and ClickDimensions. With that, I'll let Dan add any few final comments he has as well.
Thank you, Annie, for sharing this valuable information on digital marketing and providing us with an excellent demo of the ClickDimensions product. I never get tired of watching you demo this product. You do an excellent job. I would also like to thank the ClickDimensions team for partnering with us to present this webinar. And a special thanks to the attendees for taking time to join us for this event. Each of you will be receiving some gifts for attending the event. Watch for coffee cards and ebooks on the subject matter. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to discuss anything you wish to review about digital marketing or your CRM requirements. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe.